era bw'ogenda emabega w'ekizimbe kino omumeme kye yatwala notula kugundi ku mbaawo zaakyo waggulu kuliko green. aba UPC ne bagaa nti nedda tukikyuse green color ne bagijjako. Entebe za parliament za green tebatulamu. Waliwo minisita Kawanga Batume yagenda mu ministry ya transport nga state minister of transport n'asanga omusajja wa UPC former minister mu government ng'ataddemu entebe myufu n'azijjamu. You spend money because of colors.
So tulina okuvaawo awo
ebyo tubiriimu.
Kale kati subire teriyo nsonga lwaki wasazeewo kwa
motoka zange waliwo mukazi wange wa DP nzitambuliramu n'ebipande byazo bwabulira n'omuzikiti n'olyanga omunye abazinyi balina eddoboozi eddungi. Do you just convert to Islam?
Hapana.
No, for us we are mature.
Lwaki nkyogedde
tuwulira baga even my blood is yellow, you are stupid.
Mayi lwaki nkyogedde olina ensonga lwaki oyambala kakofira ka yellow olwensonga M7 so mbadde manyi olina ensonga lwaki otwambalidde saati ya radio.
Akakofira kano nakaleeta for empowerment. Era singa baali basobola okububbiramu baali buleesi. Nze nasooka okuwambala kofiira kannaki ngamba where do we call over bukofiira amevuddeyo simanyi reedi yafaani ne baga no, a case was decided in 1969. Obote bayawera ebibiina byobufuzi mu 69 ne colors yaziwera. Beni Kiwanuka yali musajja mugezi looya tabangawo wano bano babbi n'agenda e Masaka omusajja ayambadde kala za DP yagenda e Masaka mu kibuga ne bamuyoola ne bamutwala mu kkooti. Beni n'abaga nti abasiraamu bagamba nti abali mu jjana bali mu byeru ne bya green ba DP. So it was ruled political parties colors don't belong to political parties.
Eyo tuveyo katusumulule STV the shop talk.
Olwali sali tuuse wano.
Chichate.
I had to remove my hammer to put senses to some people. Oluguudo mu Lusibye.
So koleke.
Naye temuyinaawo walala
enyonde tekumenya.
Abalala mwekambabuulize. Abakola enguudo bano mu basaasire. I have no quarrel with them. Nti babba 80%. Abakola enguudo. Bamala okubba 80%, basigalawo 20%. Kakati 20% bano abasajja gye bakolera.
Okola oluguudo.
Yes, ekinana baba akibba. Ojjawo oluguudo olukolebwa luno kati wano wonna business avadde enfuufu mpitirivu. Enguudo bazikola kiro. Naye tebalina gundi tractor zirina bitaala.
Bw'oyogera nno oluguudo lwaffe olwalukuli.
Mutunulire oluguudo lwammwe. Bwe baba bakola oluguudo mulowooza nti lunene. Bwe bayiwa kolas bayiwa bwe kati why? Money is stolen by the thickness ey'oluguudo. Kibula mwe luba okukola oluguudo ng'ebituli potholes. Sente baba bazibbye.
Bakola ku 20%.
Kakati bano sente ze babbye buno obusajja mu bulaba tractor bbiri bwetoloozi kubanga bukolera ku 80%.
Oluguudo ekinana baba akibba. According bali batwala tenda bagamba nti bajja dumala by December 2019.
Sente bazi
tuli mu December 2020 oluguudo terunagwa. Katusumulule STV the sharp talk. Tugatandika n'emboozi eyabe yaliwo week ewedde tujjukira nti omukulu akulembera ebyokulonda Justice Simon Byabakama ya issuing a summons eri aba political candidates amuli wa NUP Robert Kyagulanyi Center muno wa FDC Patrick Amriat Oboy wamu ne minister minister Kasolo minister wa microfinance kati nno olunaku olujjo lwe badde balina okubeera nga bagenda ku kakiiko ka electoral commission wabula tebasobodde. NUP yakiikiriddwa omwabadde lawyer waabwe Medad Lubega Sseggona ne mbeeramu omwogezi w'ekibiina ne Muwanga Kivumbi ne bagamba nti candidate waabwe teyasobodde kubanga abeera olw'ensonga ali mu mambuka akuba campaigns ne basuubiza nti olunaku olwaleero olwokubiri ssaawa 3 ajja kuba asobola okuba nga atuuka kakiiko k'ebyokulonda babannyonnyole lwaki bamusamoninze naye nga musamoni electoral commission gye yagamba nti baviolatins oba bavodde ebiragiro bya Ministry of Health. FDC Patrick Amriat Oboy naye teyasobodde kubeerawo bonna ate bagambye nti asobola okuyitirawo nga 19 omwezi guno bw'anaaba agenda okuba campaign mu emukono. Kino kitegeeza kyo Mukukuna Joseph Tamale
akakiiko kafu
bw'ogamba nti akakiiko kafu ate ke kali mu kutegeka akalulu ka 2021 kitegeeza n'akalulu kafu.
I'm more important to this country than the Electoral Commission. And why am I involving in these things? I'm involving in these things because I have a candidate in this election.
Who's you? President Museveni?
Yes. And what they are doing, they are denting Museveni's victory. All of these people you see, the Electoral Commission, the Bobi Wine, the opposition, the police, are denting Museveni's victory.
Why?
Why? One, an election commission, babaleta bamacha bombi nabagambye nti oyo musajja yali DPP n'awaabira Besigye omusango nti yakutte omukazi after 2 years byabakama was a DPP. Which means why did Besigye keep quiet? Besigye kubanga the intention of Besigye's rape cases was a holding charge to deny him access to the voters. Toyinza kuvunaana musajja rape after 2 years. Any elementary law lawyer would know he was DPP. How can you have tukimanyi ffenna ti omwana baba mu defiance tanaaba omukazi semen forceful entrance struggle. How could Besigye be charged with rape after 2 years? There was no case. The DPP byabakama knew.
Why do you say that akakiiko k'ebyokulonda kafu? Kitegeeza n'akalulu kitegeka kafu.
Nti oyo ye bamuleetera ddala Besigye ne yeesirikira ng'amanyi kyonajja kuvuluka tebamuopposing. That was a bad choice.
Njagala okole analysis ng'okimanyi tuli mu COVID-19.
Anti analysis. Two, ne babaleeta bannoofisi bombi. There's no way you can say ti akakiiko akalina omulimu omunene bwe gutyo ate mu myaka ebiri kakola ttamu bbiri ne kagenda. What's the intention? To accumulate experience. Naye kakati bano bombi ba novice. Buli omukazi baleeta musiraamu ye tayogera simanyi bateekamu omusiraamu gender balance. Yes, if you want a Muslim, get a competent Muslim. There are many competent Muslim women around. They don't create an incompetent Muslim because you just fight. If the Muslim, you tell the Muslim, there are many Muslim women who are competent. Kakati unaiba mujia musomero ne kafa. Kakati two, the law, the election law, in which this man is
omukuku na Tamale Mirundi kati sokube tube mketereza mukatono ninga njagala okukakasa nti okyali mulabi mulungi gwakyekuumidde ku STV The Sharp Talk tunulira ensonga bwe zigenda maaso mu ggwanga mukuku nava akyageza kunnyonnyola oba okuwa analysis ye engeri akakiiko k'ebyokulonda gye kakolamu emirimu gyakyo wamu n'okuba summon gye baawadde aba presidential candidates omuli Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu ne Patrick Amuriat Oboy. Njogera okujjukiza nti Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu okusinziira ku abo bamukiikidde olunaku olw'eggulo baagambye nti olunaku olwaleero ssaawa 3 lwagenda okubanga alabikako kakiiko k'ebyokulonda. Omukuku nava agambye nti ko konna kafu tugende maaso.
You see, kakati the role of the committee, the commission, is to create constituencies. Who creates constituencies in Uganda? The commission will create constituencies according to the population. Kakati bwe bakola census te corresponding na kakiiko, which means the role of creating constituencies was taken by the movement caucus under Nankabirwa. That's why they gerrymandered the constituencies ngona cities.
Electoral Commission
the electoral law was passed without the involvement because these are parliamentarians who are selfish. The Electoral Commission does not have powers to discipline nominated candidates. You will always nominate.
Kankweka information katono nnyo. Ku nsonga ya new constituencies. Nabuuza omwogezi wa kakiiko k'ebyokulonda ne mugamba baforminze 46 new constituencies at your watch. Ate nga wali wafulumya budget ya 846 billion. Zino sente zinakola okulonda mu ino constituency zigenda vaawa. Nangamba bajja kuda Minister of Finance.
Omweka nkobolire. I've written this book. Nze mbayamba nnyo. Nawandika akatabo ku Besigye, The Mocking of Dr. Besigye. Nembabulya Besigye ekyali n'abamuleesa. Nempandika akatabo kano nga Besigye nti bamuharasinga. I read my conclusion.
Who to blame?
Nempandika COVID. these are baby monkeys balaba frames z'omuliro ekimazo obuto bwa nti kituuka ddieni be babbi b'omu covid ne bagenda wa president ne bampaabira nabaga mugende muwabire mu kooti nga batyayo bagenda bwakaliisa bakaliisa ne muteeka ku ttaka ne mpandika akatabo kano ne mbagamba nti you are changing the methodology lining behind the candidates and the ballot security ballot are just methodology methods. You have not solved the issue. You cannot solve the question of independence by lining up. Byonna bye nabagamba byatuukirira ne mpandika akatabo kano Museveni succession will be bloody mwina wa rivaling groups bili era zibatawanyi kano ka media nakoja kabasomeramu akati kambabuulire electoral commission power jeyina eriruddawo. It did not create constituencies, it did not participate in making the law. What are the powers of the electoral commission? It can caution. Why do I call Bobi Wine to the electoral commission when I don't have its advice? Why don't you arraign him before court? Because he's violating a law.
I think already in a policy
yes,
court bail.
Two, let me tell you. Bobi Wine, when you read this book, Bobi Wine, this one,
The Rise and the Making of Kyagulanyi.
Mbabuli abali abamukozesa. Ate government balimeddwa. The moment you fail to diagnose a disease, tosobola kufuna vaccine uchu.
Ninga government emumanyi.
Tebamanyi bamunda bebamukozesa. Kakati ye wabazanyira tukita reverse psychology. Nti Kyagulanyi akola atya. How does he play his games with the police? Eyatandika this man Byabakama is a referee. If a referee awards a penalty kick to one of the teams and the teams out of that team that is awarded a penalty kick against it and they say no, we shall not, then the referee must do one thing, leave the match, or he should not in the future award another penalty kick kubana bo bajjajigana. Kakati abasajja abafuga Kyagulanyi bagezi nnyo kuba
handlers
bene ali basoka ne bajjako gonne bamumma sente besije
nitulabanga ate weddamu recently wagamba ati yabaddukako
anti kyekubuulira nti how did he come about, because it has been changing as a chameleon depending on the environment. Kakati Kyagulanyi abamuhandulinga bagezi nnyo. Do you of the two parties, the people power that is headed by a Muyaga, a so-called marijuana smoker, a man who cannot be president of Uganda, what he did, he organized nominations internally by consensus. You did not see a procession of any of Kyagulanyi people powers candidates. What happened is when NRM was the first to violate the law. Not the processions. And when this man was watching, the chairman of the electoral commission must operate like a UNEB. UNEB marks exams, but it also monitors when the students are sitting. But Kakati, when this man sat in his chair, comfortably, watching the NRM people violating the law. But Kyagulanyi, because of his handlers, good handlers, did not violate the law initially. No. When Tango Doi was asked, you man, what are you going to do to these NRM candidates who have organized processions to nomination centers? As if nomination is required. Nabaganti, or beautiful, we will be called. Abagendo kugeza baligeze bwerere to expose your nakedness. Bakuwa omukazi nga bategedde nti battle y'amaanyi. But we put on casuals, we dress properly. Kakati aba violating a rule bali NRM first. This man failed to award a penalty kick against NRM. When Otango Doi was asked that, what are you going to do to these people who have violated the rules? Do you know what he said? They will face different measures. This was not violating the party rules. They were violating a law concerning COVID-19, the electoral law. And he Asoka,
aba NRM
bebasooka
kati omuntu nenebuuza
how much penalty yagano jiwa bali
electoral commission is stretching how far more primaries
let us move after nominations. Before nominations, aspiring candidates were given freedom to go and consult. Bobi Wine bamugana ng'omusajja oyo asirisi n'alimu okuwa bano penalty.
Electoral commission nga basese
ne bagamba scientific election will demand that we shall convert support using both electronic media and printing. Bobi Wine n'asasula ssente z'embaale mu radio ne bamugana ng'omusajja atudde bw'ati
ne mu Spice FM muhoima ne bamugana
nga byamukama atudde bw'ati tamanyi nti bano abahandolinga Bobi Wine baprovokinga government into a battle.
Okay.
That's why handling Bobi Wine became a problem. Is he a victim? Bobi Wine nasasula sente mu hoteli ekiryandongo omupoliisi n'amugana okusula nasula ku road side. The man kept quiet, comfortably quiet. Yamukama erifiri. He cannot award a kick, even a corner kick.
Is he compromised?
No. Tamanyi byakola.
Ebyaddala.
Bali abakozesa ono bakuba ono tukiyita reverse psychology. I must present myself as a victim. You cannot be a victor and a victim. So Bobi Wine has earned himself the victim's role. When I go to radio, kakati, how can you nenkubuulira when the president nze Museveni yankolera ebintu ngebi very important. He educated me at the university. He gave me a job where I used my influence to educate my children, including going abroad, have an educated family. 3 exposure. Natambulanga ne president. Ensi yonna nenjitambula. Kakati, when a president visits a country, what happens? The host country takes over security. Abeera n'ababe bameka. Because if these people want to arrest you, they can arrest you. Oyina abaserikale bameka. Era emmundu zigendera ku nnyonyi. Ne balisa eri gye bamuwa security ne ADC. Why? He trusts the host country.
True.
His security chichi. Kakati, Electoral Commission, what should the Electoral Commission do? Electoral Commission takes over the responsibility to protect the candidate like a host country to protect a visiting president. Bobi Wine bamukubira mu premises Electoral Commission. What did this man do? When things became hotter, he wrote to the Inspector General of Police. What did the Inspector General of Police do?
Yamusaba evidence.
If you wrote to the Electoral Commission, to the Inspector General of Police, why don't you write to Kyagulanyi and others? Kakati ne bw'abayita public ye yaggwa. Public ye maze okutegeera. Fe Abaganda tulina proverb nnungi nnyo eringa mu traffic. Omuganda akugamba if you quarrel with somebody and you injure him, you are guilty. Owolubale tebawoza naye.
Abayodde yalumiziddwa dda.
A vehicle knocked from behind, ono yali guilty. Why do you drive near me? Kakati Kyagulanyi ng'amaze okugenda mu process eyo n'oga nti omusajja ono amuli ati yajjamu ebigere nga bamuggyemu najja mu kyemba mugundiyo n'omunominatinga how can you nominate a barefooted candidate yali mutuuzizaawo n'amugamba please where are your shoes? Yes. No I cannot go bakumugulire engatto nabaga nti President Museveni yabasinda public relations bakwata omusajja Professor Newton Ojogo mu nsiko ng'enviiri zikuze yali kula kwena bwati ne bamukwata ne bamubuulira Museveni ti they have arrested ani Ojogo gundi oyo Newton Ojogo. Museveni had to take him to direct the people ne bamutwala mu saloon ne bamugulira engatto empya ne suit to appear in a press conference. How can a chairman of the Electoral Commission in his right senses with all of the aides
nominating omuntu nga talina
are barefooted? What type of chairman of the Electoral Commission is this? Tekisoboka. Museveni yazimbira nyina wakoni yamugulira nyina wakoni ennyumba. At one time gundi nyina wakoni yagamba abaana bange bano waliwo abatabula Museveni ne Kony baana be. Do you see the Chief Justice oyo gwe mulaba? Oyo mumumanyi Chief Justice? Owinye Dolo. Owinyeddolo was a lawyer of the rebels.
Yali nedda omulimu guno za gwali ku intermediate.
Yali lawyer wa rebels. Yes.
Omulimu gwe bamutuulira. Okay.
Yes.
Okusiza ku bina soma ate this quite
different. He was a lawyer for the rebels because bali realizinga nti bali biba demanding nga tebabimanyi. Nga bwe ndaba mutani wange wano bangaye nti jo yali wano n'abagamba. Why doesn't the president negotiate with the Bobi Wine? I told him no. The court, Museveni does not need to talk to Bobi Wine because the Ugandans will, by voting, will decide. You, after elections, Museveni awangod. It is mandatory in the constitution to call the opposition leaders and talk to them. His initiative was rejected by Besigye and Nambo Zembo Ainaka Zito. Kakati nkugamba nti today. Oyo yaggwa dda. Toyinza kulaba musajja gwe basuziza mu mpewo ekiryandongo n'otavaayo. N'olaba omusajja atambula n'engatto ebigere barefooted. No sirika barefooted. No. There must be standards. I cannot nominate a candidate who is barefooted. Abasajja ogenda okubayita Amuliyati bamukwatidde embalala nga ye passenger. OCA Soma traffic. I will buy a copy of the elementary traffic rules. Oh no. Amuliyati ali mabega ku boda boda bwe batwala mu court. What type of brain do you have that a passenger can be charged?
Batwala abadavuga.
Batwala Amuliyati. N'omulamuzi n'atula mu ntebe n'essejjembe. You are denting in Museveni's election. That's why I come in and attack you.
So mu mateeka balina kutwala abadavuga.
N'olaba omusajja. What's the role of these police guards? I know in an election, after a rally, you go back and strategize. You review the earlier rally, not to face the same problems of the next rally. What do you do? Bobi Wine, provoking, is of reverse psychology in nature. Bobi Wine alinga Besigye. Besigye bw'omugamba nti toyita mu kibuga ize waayita. Bobi Wine nakugamba nti we are walking to work. Yes, gentleman. But government has failed to create jobs. Then how do you walk to work when there are no jobs? Mutwe nga police tekitegera cannot take advantage of this.
Reverse psychology.
Reverse. Because the public doesn't know. If government does not create jobs, then you cannot walk to work. Walk to work would mean that the government has increased the prices of fuel, then let us abandon the vehicles and walk to work. There is nobody who is sensible enough in the police, in the government, to say that this man is a liar. Expose him to the population.
Mugamba you walking to work.
I can't look at this incident. Bobi Wine drives to go through a certain town and the police blocks his way. Why? In the middle. That there is a candidate there. A candidate going through and addressing a rally, in two rallies, is different. Yes. Why don't you escort this man? Because if you don't allow him, you are protecting the man who does not have support. Immediately people see Bobi Wine, they will abandon the other rally. It's not his problem. Kakati, police eno gye baawa Bobi Wine bagimuweera ki? To communicate with the police. Does Bobi Wine drive himself? No. If these policemen who are guarding Bobi Wine would determine tomorrow's program, where do we go through? Because you have Uganda is a small country. You have communicating. So police
inakubanga dealing ne security je bangu.
Yeah. Atajja ata batomeregane. Neno ne mujjo ne. These people are denting Museveni's victory. Like in parliament, bategera the 75-year cap did not, they only needed 75 two-thirds majority in the parliament. They created a stampede in the parliament. Lukwago ne Segona, celebrated lawyers, went to court. Court order. There is no judge who can give parliament a speaker court order. Parliament cannot stop in the middle. Speaker in ebiri. When parliament is in progress, the speaker passes through another door. When the parliament is has closed its work, the speaker goes through another door. So what was this judge? These are celebrated lawyers, Segona and Gundi and Lukwago. Omulamuzi yabawaati to date. Ndiye ne constitution yankava musanvu bagipassinga mu parliament. When helicopters were hovering over parliament, we are going to the same. So these people are the electoral commission, the police are denting Museveni's victory. Bakolagana ne Gundi. Kubaga katibirize. Omusajja gw'otaakondeminga mu poliisi nga bamugalidde ebweru n'asula mu mmotoka. Yes, Bobi Wine ebibanda yabimanyiira okusula ebweru. But forget Bobi Wine, and this is the reason. Beerabidde Bobi Wine omubanda wa Kabaka ne presidential candidate. This is a different, tukita reinvention in politics. Reinventing means I have now a new image. Niweerabire gye wandaba. Kakati Bobi Wine yasulanga mu bibanda, kati tasula mu bibanda. Nebwe chairman wa electoral commission notulya omusajja nga alina ku roadside anaaba kumacha nebwe abana bange bali bagala kunzita. Are you going to defend this?
Does this
kakati gwe omusajja eyasuze ku kubo goyita mu kakiiko.
Does this subject electoral commission to investigation?
Anti nkubuli atayina ya losing a penalty. That's why you don't understand these Europeans and Americans. The Americans have found out that this man is useless. The electoral commission. They are now inciting Museveni deal with these people who are assumed to be in power. Chibaba taking government by innocent people, our army officers. But Bagamba, Bagamba no yemufu. Kakati it is up to Museveni to save his victory. Kankusomere wa.
Anaji saving
ati kankusomere wa.
Nga ojoga electoral commission ife no kumulangira.
Electoral commission infu nkugamba. Powering tear gas. Powering tear gas, when you study tear gas powering, is selective.
How?
Whenever the police powers tear gas, they are undermining Museveni. Omanyi gwe effect ya tear gas, embuzi zirwala ebisolo birwala abaana bakolaze. Omukazi alina akaana kakakolola bakuba tear gas akutame atikinge Museveni. Tear gas is selective.
Mulibakubatia gas bamanya ne
Museveni
bagamba bakuba
sobola bamujja abapolisi bamujja ne mu bibuga ne bamutwala mu byalo bakubireyo tear gas.
Wali abagamba ne bakubatia gas bamunalumanya ne Salumanya agamba lwaki bakubitia gas ti Bobi Wine ayagala kibwa president abayise.
Yes, reverse psychology. The police is using reverse psychology. The electoral commission is reacting to reverse psychology, which it doesn't know. And the government doesn't know the reverse psychology effect.
The police orders.
Powering tear gas. This is another area which Bobi Wine handlers have exploited to the maximum. I have always argued that firing tear gas in order to disperse Bobi Wine's rallies backfires on Museveni and ends up helping Bobi Wine. One, the population is not aware that Bobi Wine violates the electoral laws. This is because the public is not aware of this law.
The lack of civic education.
Bamukubira ki? Ye Museveni ngankube ekungana a rap, defilement, byanjawulo. If we went, a couple goes to a honeymoon after being married officially in the church, and they find the prostitutes there on the same mattress, color of the mattress, the same bed, the same room, the same lighting. When the police raids that hotel, the married couple does not run away. The police run away. They are using the same tools. The prostitute couple and the married couple are using the same tools, human tools. They are using the same mattress, color, the same color. They are using the bed sheets, the same color, which makes one illegal and another one illegal. One is officially married, and the other one is prostitutes. So when the people see Museveni addressing rallies of Ferire, they don't know that Museveni follows the law. This one does not follow the law.
Of opposition.
And the public doesn't know. They do. Museveni insists on that group. Bayogereramu. Era yakugamba nti baonulukas nange mbadvisinga bwadvising because the onulukas these COVID mafias created trouble for us. They took the money thinking that COVID was here will be here for 3 months.
Mzee Tamale.
Kakati, if the public was aware, the COVID wali tebalize.
Anti public is aware COVID wali. Era bali aware budget 49 billion bazifulumya okola masks. So who is to blame here?
Museveni naye alimba. I don't agree with him. If the team to handle COVID failed, descended Bazibba. The same people cannot now move to one. We must overhaul the system, get people, get a new gun. Later use a bagoba. But Diana is a bagoba, that's the problem. But Diana, no, Mukonso, Nabang, and Ukumpa, Videwa president, Mbalemeses Zagun. Abagobe, Ubagua, Jaguar, change a Jaguar. These people in northern Uganda cannot vote a change. Ababunya, Nedwario with Yarita Kamukan.
Who is to blame here?
And the public doesn't know. That's my problem. The public has been made to believe that Bobi Wine is a victim. When Bobi Wine flouts the law, in the same way, Besigye became a victim. That's why religious leaders and other key players don't pressurize Bobi Wine. They pressurize Museveni. Ngeza Museveni tebazikuba. Izo Museveni tebazikuba kubeya agoberera amateeka. Izo no bazikuba tagoberera amateeka. Kakati public yote manyi. It doesn't know.